Golden afternoon light streamed through the windows of Bloom and Blossom, the small flower shop that had been in Lauren's family for 3 generations. She arranged pink roses in a crystal vase, her hands moving with practiced ease despite the knot of anxiety in her stomach. Tomorrow was her 10-year high school reunion. Tomorrow she'd face everyone who'd predicted she'd never amount to anything. And tomorrow she'd see Derek, her ex-fiancé who'd left her for someone more ambitious 3 years ago. The bell above the door chimed. Lauren looked up and saw him walk in. The mechanic from the auto shop 2 blocks over. She'd noticed him before, hard not to. Maybe 32 or 33, with slightly long, dark hair, strong features, and kind eyes. He always wore simple work clothes, usually a gray t-shirt with engine grease staining the sleeves. "Can I help you?" Lauren asked, trying to sound professional despite her frazzled state. He looked around the shop, seeming almost uncomfortable among the delicate flowers. "I need something for my sister." "Her birthday? What is she like?" "Honestly, I have no idea," he admitted with a self-deprecating smile. "I'm terrible at this kind of thing." Lauren couldn't help but smile back. There was something genuine about him, something refreshing after the polished superficiality she'd been dreading at tomorrow's reunion. "Let me help," she said, moving around the counter. She showed him several arrangements, asked questions about his sister, and finally settled on a beautiful mix of white lilies and pink tulips. "Perfect," he said. "You're good at this." "Family business," Lauren replied. 3 generations of knowing flowers. As she wrapped the arrangement, the anxiety about tomorrow crashed back over her. The pitying looks, the whispered comments. Derek showing off his new girlfriend who was apparently some hotshot lawyer. "Are you okay?" the mechanic asked, noticing her distress. Lauren looked at this stranger with kind eyes and made a decision that was either brave or completely insane. "Can I ask you something crazy?" she said. He tilted his head. "Sure. Can you pretend to be my boyfriend for a day? Tomorrow, just a few hours. I have my high school reunion and my ex will be there and everyone thinks I'm this failure who runs a dying flower shop and I just need—" She stopped, mortified. "I'm sorry." That was ridiculous. Forget I said anything, but he didn't laugh. Didn't look at her like she was crazy. He just studied her face thoughtfully. "What would this involve?" he asked, just showing up. "Looking like you care about me. Maybe hold my hand. Nothing weird, I promise. I'd pay you. $100 for 4 hours?" She knew she couldn't really afford it, but the thought of facing tomorrow alone was unbearable. The mechanic was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I'll do it. But you don't need to pay me." "Really?" "Really, I'm Ethan, by the way." "Ethan Cole." "Lauren Bennett," she replied, relief flooding through her. "Thank you. Seriously, you have no idea what this means." They exchanged numbers and made plans to meet the next evening. After Ethan left with the flowers, Lauren's best friend Maya emerged from the back room where she'd been listening. "Did you just hire a fake boyfriend?" Maya asked, eyebrows raised. "I think I did," Lauren admitted. "Is that completely pathetic?" "It's either pathetic or brilliant," Maya said. "We'll find out tomorrow." The next evening, Lauren changed outfits 5 times before settling on a pink floral dress that made her feel pretty, but not like she was trying too hard. She was touching up her lipstick when the doorbell rang. She opened it and froze. Ethan stood there, but not the Ethan she'd expected. Gone were the grease-stained work clothes. Instead, he wore dark jeans and a fitted gray Henley that showed off a physique that suggested gym memberships and personal trainers. His hair was styled, his jaw freshly shaved. He looked expensive in a way that didn't match a mechanic's salary. "You clean up nice," Lauren managed. "So do you," Ethan replied. His smile was warm, genuine. "Ready for this?" The reunion was at the Riverside Hotel, the fanciest venue in town. Lauren's stomach churned as they walked in. The ballroom was decorated with their school colors, and everywhere she looked, she saw people who'd moved on to bigger things. Lawyers, doctors, business owners in the city. And there was Derek, holding court near the bar with his new girlfriend attached to his arm like an expensive accessory. "That's him?" Ethan asked quietly. "How did you know?" "You looked like you'd seen a ghost. Also, he keeps glancing over here like he's trying to figure out who I am." Ethan took Lauren's hand. His palm was warm, calloused in a way that reminded her he worked with his hands. but there was a confidence in the way he moved through the room that seemed at odds with a small-town mechanic. Lauren Bennett, a woman approached, all fake enthusiasm. Jessica Hart, who'd been head cheerleader. I heard you were still running your little flower shop. How sweet that you're keeping it in the family. The condescension was clear. Before Lauren could respond, Ethan stepped in. Actually, Lauren's expanded to 3 locations in the past year, he said smoothly. She's been featured in Garden and Design magazine. Her corporate accounts include some of the biggest firms in the region. Lauren stared at him. None of that was true, but he delivered it with such casual confidence that Jessica bought it completely. Oh, how wonderful, Jessica said, her smile now forced. And who's this? Ethan Cole, he said, shaking her hand. Lauren's boyfriend. They mingled. Every time someone made a snide comment about the flower shop, Ethan smoothly redirected with some impressive-sounding accomplishment. Every time Lauren felt small, he found a way to make her feel seen. Derek eventually cornered them by the appetizer table. Lauren, he said, his eyes scanning Ethan with barely concealed jealousy. I heard you were dating someone new. Derek, Lauren replied coolly. This is Ethan. The 2 men shook hands, and Lauren noticed Derek wince slightly at Ethan's grip. So what do you do, Ethan? Derek asked, his tone suggesting he expected an unimpressive answer. I work with vehicles, Ethan said simply. Derek's smirk was immediate. A mechanic? How practical. Someone has to keep things running, Ethan replied evenly. I imagine your BMW needs regular maintenance. Derek's smirk faded. How did you... Lucky guess, Ethan said. But his eyes held something Lauren couldn't read. Knowledge, maybe. Or amusement. Derek's girlfriend pulled him away, and Lauren turned to Ethan. Thank you, she said, for all of this. The made-up achievements, the confident boyfriend act. You're really good at this. I'm not acting, Ethan said quietly. What? The part where I think you're amazing, where I'm proud to be standing next to you. That's not fake, Lauren's breath caught. Before she could respond, someone called her name. An old teacher wanted to catch up. Ethan excused himself to get drinks. At the bar, he ran into the reunion organizer, Tom Chen, who'd been student body president. Ethan Cole, Tom said, recognition dawning. I thought that was you. Didn't want to blow your cover, man, Ethan sighed. Thanks for that. Does she know? Tom asked, nodding toward Lauren. That I own Cole Industries? That I'm not actually a mechanic? Ethan shook his head. No, and I'd appreciate if you kept it that way. Your secret's safe. But why the act? Because for once, someone's getting to know me without knowing about the money first, Ethan replied. It's refreshing. What Lauren didn't know, what no one had told her, was that Ethan Cole was the founder and CEO of Cole Automotive Group, a company that owned 30 dealerships across 3 states and had recently expanded into sustainable vehicle technology. He was worth approximately $40 million. The mechanic's shop she'd seen him at, he owned it. He just liked to work there sometimes, to remember where he'd started, to keep his hands busy and his head clear. When Ethan returned with drinks, they found a quiet corner away from the crowd. Can I ask you something? Lauren said. Why did you agree to this, really? You don't know me. Ethan was quiet for a moment. I've been coming to your flower shop for 6 months. Every time I need flowers for my sister, my mother, corporate gifts, you never treated me differently because of how I was dressed. Never looked down on me for being a mechanic. You were just kind? That's just basic decency, Lauren protested. You'd be surprised how rare that is, Ethan replied. Most people judge based on appearances, on what they think your tax bracket is. You didn't. You saw me. Lauren felt something shift in her chest. I did see you. I see you. The evening wound down. As they walked to Ethan's car, they passed a couple arguing near the parking garage. The woman was crying. The man was yelling. Without hesitation, Ethan intervened. Is everything okay here? He asked firmly. The man turned, ready to tell Ethan to mind his business. But something in Ethan's stance, his tone, made him think better of it. We're fine, the woman said quickly. Thank you. They watched until the couple separated, the woman calling a cab while the man stormed off. You didn't have to do that, Lauren said. Yes, I did, Ethan replied. Standing by isn't an option. They drove back to Lauren's apartment in comfortable silence. At her door, Lauren turned to thank him. This was supposed to be fake, she said. But it didn't feel fake. Because it wasn't, Ethan said. Not for me? He leaned in and kissed her. Gentle, sweet, asking rather than demanding. Lauren kissed him back and it felt like coming home. Over the next month, they saw each other regularly. Coffee dates, dinners, long walks through the park. Lauren still believed Ethan was a mechanic, and he couldn't quite find the moment to tell her the truth until the day she needed flowers for a corporate event and the client turned out to be Coal Industries. Lauren arrived at the headquarters with her delivery van, walking into a gleaming lobby that screamed money and power. The receptionist directed her to the executive floor, where she found Ethan in a corner office, wearing a tailored suit, reviewing contracts with his management team. He looked up and saw her frozen in the doorway, her arms full of flowers. "Lauren," he said, standing quickly. "You're not a mechanic," she said slowly. "I own the mechanic shop, and about 30 other things." He dismissed his team and closed the door. "Let me explain. You've been lying to me for 6 weeks," Lauren said, hurt flooding her voice. "I haven't lied. I just didn't correct your assumption," Ethan said, "and I know how that sounds. But Lauren, for the first time in my life, someone wanted to know me without dollar signs clouding their vision. So this whole thing was what? Some rich guy's game? Pretend to be normal, see if the poor flower girl falls for it?" "No," Ethan said firmly. "It was a man who's tired of being valued for his bank account, wanting to be seen for who he actually is. You did that. You saw me when I was just some guy in a grease-stained shirt buying flowers." "I don't know what to believe," Lauren said, setting down the flowers. "Believe this," Ethan replied. "Every moment we spent together was real. Every conversation, every laugh, every time I held your hand. The feelings weren't fake." Lauren sat down heavily. "I asked you to pretend to be my boyfriend so I could impress people I don't even like. And it turns out you were a CEO pretending to be a mechanic. We're both ridiculous." Despite everything, a laugh escaped. Then Ethan laughed, and suddenly they were both laughing at the absurdity of it all. "We're a mess," Lauren said. "The best kind of mess," Ethan replied. He knelt in front of her chair. "I should have told you sooner. You deserved to know. But I was scared that once you knew about the money, everything would change." "It does change things," Lauren admitted. "But maybe not in the way you think. I fell for the guy who intervened when a woman needed help, who made me feel like I mattered when I felt small. That person exists whether you're a mechanic or a CEO. So where do we go from here?" Ethan asked. Lauren thought about it. About the lies and the truth. About the man beneath both identities. "We start over," she decided. "With honesty this time. No pretending. No fake boyfriends or hidden identities. Just two people figuring out if this could actually work." Ethan's smile was worth everything. "I'd like that." 6 months later, they stood together at the opening of Lauren's second flower shop location. Funded in part by a business loan from Coal Industries, but earned through Lauren's own expanding client base and reputation. "You know what the funny thing is?" Lauren said, surveying her new shop with pride. "What's that?" Ethan asked. "I asked you to pretend to be my boyfriend so I could prove I was successful. But I was already successful. I just couldn't see it because I was measuring myself against other people's definitions." "Took me 20 years to learn that lesson," Ethan said. "You figured it out faster." Lauren leaned against him. "We both pretended to be something we weren't. You pretended to be less than you were. I pretended to need validation I didn't actually need. Turns out we just needed to be honest." "About being a mess?" Ethan teased. "About being human," Lauren corrected. "Perfectly imperfect and figuring it out as we go." The pretend boyfriend had become real. The fake relationship had grown into something genuine, and two people who'd started with deception had found truth in each other. Sometimes the best love stories begin with small deceptions. Not because lying is good, but because sometimes we need to drop our masks to discover who we really are. And if we're lucky, we find someone who sees us clearly anyway and loves us, not despite our flaws, but because of our humanity. If this story resonated with you, please like and share it with someone who believes that real love is built on honesty and acceptance. Subscribe for more stories about unexpected connections and the courage to be authentic. Comment below about a time when dropping pretenses led to something real, or when being yourself attracted the right person. Your story could inspire someone to choose authenticity over performance.